At the time when they made that whole when they did that whole Andy Dalton signing, and they did that whole getting rid of Mitch Trubisky and all that shit, I thought they were kind of stupid. I thought, hey, maybe trade for Derek Carr, maybe do this. But now what I'm hearing, it all makes sense. It all makes sense, man. It really does. It all makes sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it all makes sense because, if Justin Fields is going to be a Bear, why do all that other shit? You know what I mean? Why trade for Derek Carr? Why do all that other shit? Because, listen right here. So, let's be real here for a second. All right, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100, because I know we're hearing all this shit about Trey Lance, but we all know Mac Jones is going to be a 49er. We all know that's going to happen, because they said Lynch wants Trey Lance. Everybody else wants Trey Lance, but Shanahan wants Mac Jones. So, the 49ers literally praise Shanahan like he's a fucking god. So, anything he says probably goes. So, Mac Jones will probably be the pick. I'm sorry. And also, they're trying to win right now, and they're trying to get rid of Jimmy G as soon as possible. If they get Trey Lance, then that means they'll have to keep Jimmy G around for at least a year or two and waste another season or two of this great defense and this great roster they're having. Because think about it, they still got to pay Bosa. They still got a couple of things they have to do. You know what I mean? If they keep Jimmy G around for one more year, or maybe 2 more years, then they're literally just wasting this Super Bowl window that they've been given. You know what I mean? So, I would suspect Mac Jones would be the pick. Jimmy G, a pick. They're already working up his contract for the Patriots to trade for him. So that's going to be interesting to see. That's going to be interesting to see who wins this Jimmy G, Cam Newton experiment. But other than that, now that we're talking about the Bears, I understand why the Bears are doing this. If the Bears do this, if they don't do this, they're fucking stupid. Because unless they think Andy Dalton or Nick Foles is going to be the long-term starter, they're pretty fucking stupid if they don't do this. But if they do this, props to them. Because the Falcons will not draft a QB with the 4th pick. They've said they're not drafting a QB with the 4th pick. And I've already made a video on them about that. So there's no point in talking about that. Now, I'm not going to go over this mock draft because my mock draft is completely different than this mock draft. There's no point. But what I will say is... Okay, this is stupid. Okay, what I will say is, if you're the Falcons, because their Falcons are already having discussions about trading Julio Jones. If you're the Falcons, you gotta gather up as many picks as possible, because they said that they're trying to build around Matt Ryan for the last few years. The offense is fine, man. The offense is fine. They just got Mike Davis to fix up the run game a little bit. They got Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst, all these mofos. So, I guess you're going to need a receiver to replace Julio, but I'm going to get into that later. But right now, we're talking about the Bears. Now, in the Bears, if they trade for Justin Fields, they might have this division on wraps for the next half decade or some shit. Because, well, let's look at this really quickly. Because Matt Stafford, he's gone. So now they're stuck with Jared Goff for at least a year or two. Because even if they draft a QB next year, they're still going to have to sit behind Goff for a year, probably. So, yeah. So their competition is going to be Goff, and what, Kirk Cousins? Because Aaron Rodgers, anybody who says that this is not Aaron Rodgers last year in Green Bay is fucking delusional. Like, they haven't restructured his contract. They're not trying to do anything to build around him. They're getting ready for Jordan Love. You know what I mean? Like, it's over. Like, they literally restructured every other contract but Aaron Rodgers. And if they restructured Aaron Rodgers' contract, that would open up so much fucking cap space for them to do other shit. But they don't want to do it. Why? Because they don't want to keep Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah. I mean, they don't want to keep Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty fucking obvious at this point. So, he's probably gone. You know what I mean? After this year. So, really, their competition is going to be Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, and Jordan Love. So, I don't know about you, but if the Bears, they have Justin Fields in that position, will be in a pretty good spot. Now, Justin Fields, I'm worried about how he would be initially because, I don't know, he seems like a pretty raw prospect to me, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like he's the type who's not going to have a good rookie season, but in the long term, he's going to be the best quarterback in the draft. Like, because Trevor Lawrence, to me, seems like someone who's, like, out of the gate going to be good, but overall going to be, like, slightly above average. Justin Fields seems like the transcendent talent to me. I mean, this is what I compare them to, honestly. I would say Justin Fields is like Deshaun Watson, and then Trevor Lawrence is like a worse version of Andrew Luck. Because, like, I would say Andrew Luck, he's not as good as Andrew Luck. He will never be as good as Andrew Luck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everybody who sucks off Trevor Lawrence, but he's not going to be as good as Andrew Luck. That's not happening. I mean, he plays like Andrew Luck a little bit, but he will never be as good as Andrew Luck. That's just... But Justin Fields, I don't know, like, the way he plays, like, really reminds me of Deshaun Watson. Like, the way he could take off, like, his throwing motion, like, all that shit is, like, so smooth. Like, some people compare him to Cam Newton, but he has a way better throwing motion than Cam Newton. You know what I mean? So, we gotta put respect on Justin Fields' name, man. Like, his draft stock is falling for, like, literally no reason. You know, everyone's saying this and that. They did the same shit with Herbert, I think, like, a year back. Like, they were saying Herbert ain't this, Herbert ain't that, Herbert's not good, Herbert has no motivation. Like, they were like, shitting on Herbert's name. And guess what happened? Rookie of the year, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So it's like, all these draft analysts, they always say shit, like, every single fucking year. They said Lamar was a running back. They said Justin Herbert doesn't have leadership mentality. You know, they say all this different shit. And at the end of the day, they're all full of shit. So, this is what's actually going to happen, all right? Reported to you by me, you know, and someone who will bring you real fucking news and not all this bullshit propaganda you hear, all right? So, this is what's actually going to happen. Number one, Justin Fields is going to the Bears at number 4. Bears already have tried to trade Akiem Hicks, said that they were going to keep him. But if you had to choose between Akiem Hicks and your franchise quarterback for the next 15 to 20 years, I would choose Justin Fields. I'm sorry. So, my thing is, let's say Akiem Hicks, 2 first-round picks. Done. You know what I mean? Done. Justin Fields to the Bears. Then, number 7, the Lions already said that they're open to trading the pick. So, Washington, you know, they've already said that they would give up a king's ransom to move up for Trey Lance. They got, like, infinite amount of D tackles. What is it? The Lions don't have that many D tackles. So, Matt Ioannidis, 2 first-round picks. Trey Lance, boom. So, Trey Lance, Washington. Mac Jones, 49ers. Justin Fields, Bears. And then 1 and 2, we all know what's going to happen there. So, Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields to the Bears, he's going to have Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, Marquise Goodwin. Maybe they draft another receiver because they said they're going to get rid of Anthony Miller. Like Cole Kmet, he's coming along fine. That offensive line is going to need some work, though. That is really going to need some work because they just cut Bobby Macy. They're probably going to cut Charles Leno. You know what I mean? And then they're going to need some interior help outside of James Daniels and Cody Whitehair. So they're going to need a left tackle, a right tackle, and a right guard. So yeah, a lot of help needed on that O-line. You know, their running game is going to be fine. My worry with the Bears is that their defense is already starting to get old. So will their defense hold up in time for Justin Fields to turn into a beast? You know what I mean? Because they're kind of starting to shed all those players who are getting old. Like they got rid of Kyle Fuller. You know, a couple years ago they got rid of a couple guys. And I think they're trying to get younger on defense to like keep that shit going. And like they were trying to get rid of Akiem Hicks, but Akiem Hicks would be a guy I would get rid of. Because I don't want to get rid of Roquan. You know what I mean? I don't want to get rid of Eddie Jackson. I don't want to get rid of those guys. But if I could get rid of Akiem Hicks, who's like injury prone as fuck, but like would help another team out who desperately needs defense, I'd do it. Because can you imagine Akiem Hicks and Grady Jarrett in the middle with Dante Fowler and Gregory Rousseau on the edges? That would be lit, bro. That would be fucking lit. So yeah, it helps out both teams, I think, if they were to do that trade. And at the end of the day, like, the Falcons probably are going to, like, just, because the Falcons are not the Packers. The Packers don't give a fuck about their QBs. They just disrespect the fuck out of their QBs. You know, they let Brett Favre walk out the door. They're going to let Aaron Rodgers walk out the door. But the Falcons, they gonna ride this wave till the wheels fall off, man. That's their mentality. It's like Matt Ryan, he's been with us from the beginning, and he will be with us till the end. That's their mentality. And I can respect that. You know what I mean? Staying loyal to your QB who stayed loyal to you. You know, Julio Jones, he's been injury prone. He's taken a lot of cap space. And I got a perfect team that Julio Jones is going to go to that I will not enjoy, but is probably going to happen now that I think about it. And no, it's not the Ravens, all right? The Ravens don't give a fuck about Lamar. They will let Lamar rot on this quote-unquote running team for as long as humanly possible. So, I hate to say this, but well, let me go through this shit one more time. We got Lawrence Wilson, Mac Jones, Justin Fields to the Bears, and then right around 17 we get to Devontae Smith. Now let me explain, because some people are like, why the hell would Devontae Smith fall all the way to 17? And so let me explain. First four, obviously they need a quarterback. And then Bengals, if they don't draft Penei Sewell, there's going to be a fucking problem. Kyle Pitts will probably be at number 6. The Dolphins probably don't need another tight end. Got Gesicki. You know what I mean? Panthers probably going to do a little bit of trade-up action. You know, Dolphins could get even more draft picks by trading back 2 spots. Get Rashawn Slater. Trey Lance. Goes to Washington. Jalen Waddle to the Eagles. Because apparently the Eagles are in love with Jalen Waddle. And this is some Eagles type of shit. I could see them passing up on Devontae Smith and Jamar Chase to get Jalen Waddle. Because that seems like an Eagles type of thing to do. You know what I mean? That just seems like an Eagles type of thing to do. And then we got Surtain, I think he's going to be a Patriot because J.C. Jackson and Stephon Gilmore's futures are up in the air, so they're going to need a corner. And they're going to use Stephon Gilmore as trade bait to move up, which has already been reported. So I don't need to talk about that again. And they get Michael Gallup out of that deal. So, yeah. So Patrick Surtain, Patriots. Jamar Chase falls to the Giants. He's a Giant. Micah Parsons to the Broncos because even if Von Miller stays, they're going to need a succession plan eventually. So Micah Parsons is going to be there. And then also they could put him in the middle if they need to. And then what else? Chargers, we need a left tackle, so we're going to get Christian Darrisaw just out of pure desperation. When we should have gotten Orlando Brown, by the way, but that's none of my business for right now. Vikings, they need O-line help too. Patriots, actually Cowboys in this instance, they would need a pass rusher since they just got rid of Aldon Smith. The Cardinals, now maybe they'd get Devontae Smith in this instance, but they really need another corner, so I see J.C. Horn going to there. And finally, we get to the Raiders, who at this point, all the good defensive players are out of the way. And Devontae Smith is just sitting there, but they got enough young receivers. They don't need any more young receivers. They got what? Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow, Bryan Edwards. They don't need any more young receivers, all right? They need a veteran who's ready to just get shit done. They need a veteran number one to help out Derek Carr. You know what I mean? Because Derek Carr, he likes those big body receivers who could just catch over everybody. Why do you think he works so well with Michael Crabtree? Because that's all he does. Big body receiver, catch over everybody. Reason why he didn't work well with Mark Cooper, pure route runner where you have to throw the ball directly to him. Derek Carr likes to do jump ball type situations. Why do you think he works well with Darren Waller? Michael Crabtree. So Julio Jones would be a good addition to the Raiders. And, that's going to be hard. That's going to be a hard pill to swallow as a Chargers fan since we have no corners to cover him because Casey Hayward is gone and Chris Harris Jr. is washed up. So, I don't know what we're going to do there. So, at number 17, Devontae Smith will be a Falcon. So, that's going to be dangerous. Devontae Smith and Calvin Ridley? Shit. Shit. I would not want to go up against that. But back to the Bears. Justin Fields is basically what Trubisky should have been, which is like a running quarterback that can also pass the ball. The only problem is that he's black. And I'm not saying this to be racist. I'm saying this as the Bears owner. Because the Bears traditionally just don't like black quarterbacks. I'm pretty sure every quarterback that's ever played for the Bears ever has been white. Even the backups. I don't remember the last time the Bears have had a white quarterback step into their stadium. Or not a black quarterback. Have you noticed that? So, it's going to be weird seeing Justin Fields in the Bears jersey for some people, but I don't know. When it's all said and done, this might be Chicago's division for the next 20 years because, Jordan Love is there, but we don't know how he's going to go, and we all know that the only reason the Packers are doing anything is because of Aaron Rodgers, and if you really think that Jordan Love will ever be as good as Aaron Rodgers, you are fucking delusional. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how the Bears do in the AFC North. Because the Vikings have no plan other than Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? The Lions are the Lions. So, basically, it's Jordan Love versus Justin Fields for the next 20 years. That's basically going to be the storyline as of right now. But other than that, I don't really have much else to say, so I'm out. Peace.